Hello and welcome to the next instalment of the Awin Access webinar series. My name is Francesca Dakin and I'm the Influencer Partnerships Manager at Awin Global. Myself and Nicola make up the Influencer Partnerships team, and today we will be talking all things influencer. From outreach to strategy to reporting, we will be discussing everything you need to know about influencer partnerships with time at the end for any questions. On a side note, I just want to thank Michelle and Hannah from the business development team for organising this session, and to everyone who has signed up to view this webinar today.
Thanks, Frankie. To kick things off, we will start with a bit of context for 2020. Influencer marketing has not only survived but adapted throughout the uncertain times of the global pandemic. Despite initial reservations from brands regarding consumer sensitivity and fear of misinformation via proxy, influencer marketing has sustained and gained momentum despite physical restrictions. Online engagement soared throughout lockdown. Influencers held the marketing advantage with a captive and receptive audience as more and more users turned to social media. Influencer content became more relatable, reliable, and authentic to the everyday follower via chatty at-home stories or no-makeup selfies or fitness classes streamed from the living room. Influencers received more questions via direct messages, with users commenting on the items featured in the video background. This community feel and two-way communication encouraged consumer trust as they were able to view products being used in real time. In addition, due to the unprecedented nature of the pandemic, influencers have proved flexible and adaptable to brands with quick turnaround times and the possibility for boosting in usage for brands unable to shoot new content.
So what are the main aims of influencer marketing? With more and more marketers investing in influencer campaigns, it's important to understand exactly how influencers can help your brand. To break this down, consumers continue to rely heavily on recommendations and reviews. However, the traditional word-of-mouth marketing has moved online. This can be seen as a referral program strategy that incorporates social trust. Millennials in particular have switched off from traditional advertising, opting to view content in real time and select and invest in products that can enhance lifestyle via personalities who are more relatable than aspirational celebrity figures. The common concern regarding influencers within the affiliate channel is that influencers are not drivers of last-click purchases. Influencers are part of the upper funnel and research phase of the customer journey. But as mentioned earlier, this phase is imperative for eventual leads and conversions. Strong calls to action and links encouraging data capture are all ways in which influencer marketing can be leveraged to clinch that final purchase.
Now that we know what we can aim for, the next step is to narrow down who you are looking for. Influencer sourcing should be commenced with a target audience in mind. You need to find influencers that match your brand profile and target demographic, as ultimately their followers are your potential customers. Here are a few of our top tips for influencer sourcing. Implement social listening. Who is talking about your brand organically? Do they have quality content? Followers do not necessarily mean sales. Some social media users have been known to buy fake followers to increase social media following. Look beyond the total figures and check individual photos. Engagement is key. How many likes does each post receive? Are people talking about the brand or product within the comment section? Is there an intent to purchase there? Collaborate with influencers, don't dictate. By creating two-way conversations with influencers, you can see how they can support your brand values. You need to fit into their world, not them into yours. With this in mind, influencer inclusion, even during the campaign concept stage, will ensure a high-quality creative output. Influencers want to invest in a brand that they trust and respect. And it should be noted that 1 in 5 influencers rely on brand campaigns for their main income. We will come back to compensation a little bit later. Following can be deceptive. What can seem to be an obvious reach of over 1 million followers does not necessarily mean the engagement rate is as strong. To obtain maximum engagement, brands should seek to find an influencer between 10,000 and 100,000 followers. Instagram swipe-up links are only accessed by those with a following over 10,000. We have outlined the 2 main categories, micro and macro. The influencer you target should depend on your brand objectives. Starting with micro-influencers. These have less than 10,000 followers. Having a lower following makes the influencer more relatable to consumers, and this increases trust in the influencer recommendation. Micro-influencers convey authenticity, leading to a higher conversion rate. We also tend to see higher engagement rates with micro-influencers, between 4 and 8%, whereas mega-influencers of 1 million followers plus can see rates around 1.7%. A lower niche following also means lower fees, usually around £250 per Instagram post. This means you can potentially work with and activate more influencers within one campaign and reach a niche and targeted, and most importantly, engaged audience. In addition, longer-term benefits can include the potential for ambassadorship programs to help build brand awareness over a longer duration and brand affinity. Activating the same influencers adds further credence to the influencer collaboration with your brand. Then we have macro influencers. Brands tend to have more control over macro influencer campaigns, as the individual influencers are professional social media users within a particular sector. This in turn means less micromanagement for brands, as they understand the aims of content creation and brand KPIs. This means that macro influencers are able to create quality content and strategic delivery to ensure campaign success, and leads to the potential for usage and UGC boosting from a brand's perspective. They have a wide audience range and ergo a higher social reach. They have a low risk of fake followers, as they are usually verified due to a better professionalism. They understand what levels of engagement are needed to secure more investment and quality campaigns. They are also active in seeking collaborations and will be reactive in their contact, as this is their main source of employment and income. Most will have an agent or representative. So how can you get the conversation started? Influencers receive hundreds of emails per day, per week. We advise starting to build relationships before requesting content. Reach out to influencers, introduce them to your brand and ethos. Engage with them organically, share their content, comment on their individual posts. Try to understand them. What motivates your target influencer? Are they only promoting ethical or vegan products? Be sensitive of their values. Each introduction should be tailored to the individual. Let them know you are invested in their content. Do not copy and paste, and focus on their talent. Be upfront about your expectations and keep your pitch clear. Remember to be transparent regarding usage. This often comes with an extra fee. The clearer you are, the easier it is to manage the campaign and communications with the influencer. Why do you want their endorsement? How will this campaign benefit their audience? We've taken the liberty to draft an example email for your reference. Make sure the subject title is interesting, relevant, and personal. This will immediately show the influencer that you have thought about them individually for this campaign. Make sure the email is personalised. Mass emails will be ignored. Introduce yourself and your company. Let them know you have done your research. Why do you want them to promote your product or brand? Provide a brief outline of your campaign and requirements. Pique their interest. And most importantly, keep it simple.
There's a few different payment models we can look at implementing with influencers. First of all, we have the CPA payment model. This requires competitive rates between 8 to 15% in order to incentivize influencers. This can be a deal breaker, especially when negotiating fixed fees. Then we have gifting, because product is essential for authentic content creation. Then payment on influence. Recognition reward beyond the last click is attractive to creators as they tend to appear higher up the sales funnel. We recommend an assist model, awarding a fixed sum for each assisted sale. And lastly, we have tenancies and fixed fees. This gives you guaranteed exposure versus the uncertainty of incentives. We often hear of brands' confusion when they've gifted products to influencers and don't get the expected coverage. Brands should expect to invest in influencer activity. Influencers are visual creators. They are working to promote a branded product. That being said, influencers are looking to serve their personal audience and will selectively choose brands that support their image. Influencers deserve adequate compensation, and this can vary depending on campaign terms, project scope, engaged following size and quality, and length of agreement. Compensation can be tricky as you're paying for unique content creation rather than paying for guaranteed positive reviews or conversion. Ultimately, authenticity is key to ensure brand trust and consumer engagement. As expected, the bigger the influencer, the higher the cost. One piece of content from a macro influencer can cost anywhere from £2,000 to £50,000, depending on status. For example, if they've got a blue tick, high engagement rate, and follower count. Don't get caught out either. Before jumping into influencer agreements, remember to circle back to your main aims. Always have a backup. Not all influencers will be able to agree to your campaign, be it due to timing, budget, or they just aren't willing to participate. Make sure you have a backup list should you need further creators. Have you agreed timings? When is the campaign going live? When will influencers receive products or codes? This is crucial when planning. Remember to keep the conversation going with your influencers. They need to know what's going on and they'll have questions. Always check you've got sufficient stock. Influencers need to showcase the product and customers will want to buy the stock on display. Product availability is key. Have you checked that the influencer is aware of ASA guidelines? Sponsored posts need to be declared. Remember to clarify your usage requirements from the start. Will you be reusing the influencer content for your website, emails, or socials? This may incur an extra cost, driving your budget up considerably. And then we have Awin admission. Publishers need to offer visibility to the audiences they promote and recommend products to. New research undertaken by Awin has found that more than 3/4 of influencer adverts on Instagram have the disclosure hidden somewhere in the post, whether that be in the middle, at the end, or in a comment. In response to growing demand from regulators in the US and UK, increasingly calling out influencer and publisher non-compliance, Awin has launched Admission, an industry-first multi-network advertising disclosure tool. Whilst the topic of disclosure might be initially perceived as exclusively a publisher problem, as it is the influencer that displays the related links and adverts, the regulators make it clear that responsibility rests on both the shoulders of the influencer and the brand. Admission can be accessed by any Awin affiliate with the publisher master tag via the user interface. For more information, contact the publisher management team. So how do we measure influence? We define influence based on outcome, not on scores, understanding how influence is actually created. Campaigns must be designed with an outcome in mind. Key KPIs include traffic and impressions, social engagement, social uplift, positive sentiment, conversions, and customer acquisition. And then reporting. The Awin reporting suite is ideal for tracking influencer activations. We've got a number of reports that can be utilised. Also, a top tip for making pulling influencer data easier is to ensure you add publisher tags to them as they are joining your affiliate program. First of all, we've got the publisher performance report. This allows the user to see a breakdown of metrics by publisher for a select period of time. Within this report, you'll find assists. Assists are a key metric in the measurement of influence within Awin's reporting, showing sales or leads where the influencer drove a click but was not the last referrer or winning publisher. Then we have performance over time, which shows program performance grouped by day, month, or year. And then we have the transaction report, which shows each transaction tracked through the program split by publisher. And then we have voucher attribution. It's a tracking measure that enables cookieless tracking by being able to track sales on just a voucher code alone. Voucher attribution enabled codes can be given to an influencer of your choosing. When a sale is made using that voucher code, advertisers pass that voucher code to Awin via the tracking tag. Sales tracked via voucher attribution will always be awarded to the publisher assigned to the exclusive code. This means that if a voucher code is picked up by other publishers who drive sales with it, the commission will still be awarded to the exclusive voucher publisher. Now we've got some examples of influencers driving revenue for SME brands. So I'm sure you guys will all recognise Mrs. Hinch. She grew from strength to strength in 2019, inspiring millions to take cleaning to a new level. Solely responsible for Sephora, Minky Cloths and Turbo Mops selling out in 2019. She's generated over £275,000 of revenue for an SME cleaning brand year to date. Then we have Dazzling Cleaning, Lindsay Turford, with a following of 52.9k and has driven over 200k in revenue year to date for an electrical appliance brand. It's not just influencers in the cleaning category that are driving its impressive revenue. Eddie Hall, the world's strongest man in 2017, drove 30k for micro SME supplement brand. And lastly, we have Man Caves, a really interesting Instagram made by two young influencers looking for the best products to kit out man caves. They've driven over 36k in revenue for a gaming SME. These are just some of the influencer verticals already joined to Awin. There's many more you can connect with. So to summarize, treat influencers as creators. You're working with them to leverage their authenticity. Let them create. Think about the aim of your influencer strategy. First and foremost, brand awareness is key. Your potential customers need to be made aware of your brand. Number 3, expect to invest. Quality content creation isn't easy, or we'd all be influencers. Therefore, they should be paid for their work. The aim is to create brand ambassadors. Continued partnership with the same influencers shows their audience that they genuinely align with your brand, and they are in turn more likely to purchase from you in the future.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Frankie and I are on hand to help should you have any further inquiries. You can find our contact details on the screen now. In addition, we have commenced our influencer content series on the Awin blog, so make sure you check it out for news pieces and articles.
As Nick mentioned, thanks for attending today's session on all things influencer. Have a great day and good luck with your influencer activations.